Hello, my friend. Welcome to your sleep story. My name is Stephen Dalton. I'm an Irish storyteller, and it's my great privilege to be the voice that you listen to as you go to sleep tonight. Tonight I present to you a new series, The Lighthouse Keeper. This is a sleep story all about a man named Seamus who lives on a little island on the west coast of Ireland, where he has tended a lighthouse for many decades. He lives a simple, humble existence, and tonight you will join him and enjoy observing the world of Seamus the Lighthouse Keeper. Also, just so you know, this is another story that I didn't write out beforehand. I simply closed my eyes and allowed the life of Seamus to come to me. Okay, let's do the relaxation session now, which will take a few minutes before tonight's sleep story. I'm going to count down from 10 to 1, and as I do, allow yourself to let go more and more. 10. Feel the support of the bed beneath you, or the floor, or whatever you may be lying on. And beneath that, beneath all of us, feel the support that the earth offers. Feel that constantness, and allow that feeling of support now to enable you to let go a little bit more. There's no need to hold on right now. 9. Feel into your body. Notice anything, whether it be a little bit of pain, or a tingling, or a tension. And just see if you can let go a little bit more again. Maybe you're holding in your feet. Maybe your hands. Maybe your face. Your body has worked hard for you today. It deserves to rest now. So just allow more release. 8. You are safe. Allow my voice to be a calming anchor of safety tonight. Know that my voice will always bring you to safe places. Allow it to be a friend that guides you to magical worlds and great adventures and stories beyond your imagination. 7. The day is done. Whatever has been, has been. Whatever will be, will be. But right now, in this moment, just see if you can let go of any thoughts that keep arriving. Don't fight them. They are a part of being human. Just see them for what they are as they arrive, and let them go. Watch them float away like clouds passing in front of your eyes on a starry night. Six. Peace lives inside of you. It's always there. It's in all of us. It's just waiting to be seen, waiting to be heard, waiting to be felt. And that peace can be felt by you tonight. Breathe in now. And breathe out. And see if that peace is there. 5. You deserve rest. You deserve sleep. We all do. Know that fact. Know deep inside yourself that you are deserving of this rest. In fact, you are better for it. Not just for yourself, but for those around you. Sleep is your friend. It is healing, and it is welcoming you tonight. Four. Allow yourself to feel a little gratitude now for this moment, for the ability to listen to this sleep story, to indulge in this healing time. 3. Begin to engage with your imagination now. Begin to see a beautiful lighthouse standing tall on a little rocky Irish island, surrounded by the Atlantic Ocean. Begin to hear the sounds, to smell the smell of the fresh sea air, and to see a kindly looking man, the lighthouse keeper, 2. Feel into your body one more time now. Just letting go of any tension still there. 1. Completely letting go now. As I tell you tonight's sleep story. Seamus's eyes are closed. He's breathing deeply, lying in the cozy confines of his cozy bed in his beautiful lighthouse. This lighthouse that has been his home now for many decades. It is still dark outside on this little island off the west coast of Ireland. Seamus stirs a little. He is so safe here, so content, so at peace. The sound of the ocean is his constant companion, and has been all of this time. Even while he sleeps, he hears it. He knows it's there. Now, gently, very gently, he begins to stir. His eyes peek open. He sits up and looks out through the little porthole window. The stars still sit atop the sea, and the light from the top of the lighthouse still rhythmically shines far out into the ocean. Seamus and this light are almost in sync with each other, like his heart beats to the rhythm of the moving light. He feels it within him. His favorite thing to do at the start of the day is to open the little hatch door and walk out in his bare feet onto the grass that surrounds the lighthouse. He stands now with the earth beneath him and breathes in his first breath of the outside air. He thinks to himself how grateful he is for this moment, as he does every morning, as he looks upon the stars that still shine, and the waves of the ocean below. He stretches his hands out either side and feels his body meet the air. He is old now. Old by most people's standards anyway. But he has treated himself with deep respect, and so he looks 20 years younger, and feels it too. He feels his feet touching the grass, and he is reminded that he is at home, home on this earth. He goes back inside the lighthouse now and enters the little kitchen. He puts on his simple overalls. He puts some water in the old kettle. He lights the fire and places the kettle atop it. There are no modern appliances here. There is no electricity. For this lighthouse and this man Seamus exist in a different time from ours. Seamus lived throughout the 1800s and early 1900s. And so, as we start to learn about Seamus and his simple life in the lighthouse, we are also visiting a different time. He lights the candles. The gentle glow from these old companions warm his heart. He sits at the kitchen table and waits for the water to boil. And as he sits, he just sits. He doesn't look for a distraction. In fact, the thought of a distraction never enters his mind. He sits and notices the sounds around him. The smells, the sensations in his body. Once the kettle is boiled, he pours it into a little pot and mixes it with coffee beans and puts it back on the fire. Seamus does love his coffee. He sits back down and looks around the room. This room, this little kitchen that he has spent so many hours in. He is often surprised by the fact that over the years he has done so little to the kitchen, and yet, in a way, it seems to change or age. Anyway, he takes his coffee off the fire, pours it into a little bowl, and walks outside again. Now the sun, our nearest star, is beginning to rise. Seamus sits down on his favorite wooden log and looks to the east. He welcomes the sun. It is late spring, and so there is already a little warmth that he feels on his face as the sun climbs above the horizon. He breathes in this moment, and he expresses gratitude for the simplicity of his life, for his health, for his shelter, and for the peace of this moment. He closes his eyes. His lined face has a great beauty to it. The lines show the years lived well, years lived by this beautiful ocean, the Atlantic. He smells the fresh, salty air. He always thinks that there is something so healing about the sea air. It's no wonder I'm healthy, he thinks to himself. He listens to that rhythm of the waves, something he could never get tired of. He decides now is a good time to go and tend to the light. He finishes his coffee, stands up, and goes back through the little door at the base of the lighthouse. He leaves the coffee bowl in the kitchen, and then opens the door to the staircase. He begins his ascent, climbing each step. Every time he climbs these stairs, he wonders, how many times have I climbed these stairs? It must be tens of thousands by now. He knows exactly every stair, how many they are, what number stair has something strange about it. The pattern of the wood, the sound each different stair makes. They are old friends in a way, who have known his feet as long as they have known them. Round and around he goes, climbing and climbing and climbing, until eventually he reaches the lantern room. First, he opens the windows of the lantern room so that when he extinguishes the light, any smoke that is produced will leave the room quickly. Then he inspects the light to assess its condition after the night's work. He checks for anything that needs attention. He looks towards the chimney to see if it's blackened. He checks the wick to make sure it's not burned down too much. Now, Seamus carefully turns down the wick and reduces the flame gradually. Now the light has been extinguished, and Seamus allows the lamp to cool. Now he trims the wick with meticulous care, ensuring it is just the right length for an even burn. Too long, and the flame would be smoky, leaving soot on the glass. Too short, and it would fail to cast its vital light far enough into the darkness. The wick's adjustment is a delicate balance, one that Seamus has mastered over the years. Now that Seamus has tended to the wick, he lifts a heavy oil can with a practiced ease, topping up the oil reservoir that feeds the lamp. The scent of the oil, which is pungent and familiar, fills the room. Now, Seamus turns his attention to the Fresnel lens. This is a special lens that encircles the flame, a masterpiece of optical engineering. It's composed of multiple sections of glass, each precisely shaped and arranged to capture and concentrate the light, magnifying its intensity so that it can be seen from many miles away. Seamus polishes each segment of the lens with a soft cloth, removing any accumulation of salt spray or dust. The task is laborious, requiring a gentle hand and an eye for detail, for even the smallest smudge can diminish the light's reach. Seamus knows that the lens must be flawless. Now that Seamus has completed his morning tasks, he decides it's time to eat. He goes down the stairs again. And upon reaching the bottom, goes outside and towards the chicken house. Happily, there are fresh eggs this morning, and Seamus takes 2 of the biggest and goes back inside the lighthouse. Some days he likes fried eggs, some days scrambled, and when he's feeling like today is going to be a special day, he enjoys poaching eggs. And so today that's what he does. He boils the water and adds a little bit of vinegar and takes a spoon and gets the water to travel in a spiral formation, and then withdraws the spoon, cracks the egg, and drops it right into the middle. The egg comes together beautifully, and Seamus feels very satisfied. He repeats the process for the second egg. He has toasted some bread over the fire, and now he sits and quietly eats his breakfast, feeling happy in his solitude. After breakfast, Seamus does the same thing he does nearly every morning. He goes into his little room. He takes his old leather journal and he goes outside and walks down the little path that leads to the beautiful beach below. This is one of his favorite parts of the morning. And yes, he'll even do this if it's raining and windy. He feels the soft sand beneath his feet, and he goes to his favorite rock. He is not sure, but he is close to sure that this rock that he has sat on for all these years has somehow shaped itself to his body. Anyway, he sits on the most comfortable rock in all of Ireland and looks out upon the ocean. He loves this place. The cliffs surrounding him. These cliffs that have been beaten by this ocean for millions of years. And he knows he is but a ship in the night when it comes to the age of these cliffs and the age of this ocean. Lately, he has been reflecting upon his life and the journey that led him to being a lighthouse keeper. He begins to write. 27th of May, 1911. Yesterday, I was writing about my childhood. Of course, those memories are fuzzy, but for some reason, I remember a lot of sunshine. I remember my parents and how kind they were. I remember my sister. I don't know what my first memory was. But I know that I was well looked after. I was loved, and that's important. Anyway, today I think I'll write a bit more about how I think I ended up becoming a lighthouse keeper. I think it might be to do with the fact that my sister was a lot older, so I was often alone. And it's comfortable for me to be alone. I might say preferable. That's not to say I don't like to be around other people. I love other people. I need other people. But there is something about solitude that I am deeply comfortable with. How many people can say that? Another reason to be grateful, I suppose. Anyway, it was probably that love of solitude, and also the fact that I became a sailor. I remember in my young days of sailing, when I would be on a ship out in the ocean at night, and I would be lying on my back, looking up at the stars, and I would think to myself, I never want to leave the ocean. I always want to be here. I need to find a way to be here always. And of course I knew that I couldn't be a sailor forever. And when we would come close to the land, and I would see those lighthouses, I would always think of the lives inside them. The person or people keeping that light going. And there would be a safety that I would feel in my soul when I would see that lighthouse. And it wasn't just about the light keeping me safe, keeping the ship safe. It was much deeper than that. It was the feeling, the realization, the recognition that us humans look after each other. There is something deeply hopeful in that fact. There is something deeply heartwarming about that fact. We send signals of care to each other. And I suppose it was in those moments that I decided that I wouldn't mind doing this job and caring for others and living a simple life. Okay. I've written enough for one day. Seamus closes his journal and walks towards the shoreline. He feels the cooling, calming, healing water of the Atlantic on his feet. He takes in a nice, deep breath as he closes his eyes. And then he breathes out. And then he begins his walk back up the little track to continue his day as a lighthouse keeper.